So what are 3 really easy ways that you can flirt with her? I'm dating coach and TED speaker Hayley Quinn. I have the pleasure of working in coaching with men and women equally. So hopefully I'm going to give you an interesting perspective on this and just some really clear and simple advice on how you can become more flirtatious. Now I can understand why flirtation doesn't always feel easy. In the modern age, post the Me Too era, it can be hard to really judge the difference between how do I show my intentions clearly enough that she gets excited to see me again, but how do I not overstep the mark and be like that creepy guy that's going to get blown out here? So instead, I want to give you some tools that are actually relatively subtle ways of communicating with her that you would like to see more of her and that you're flirting. Because remember, if you find that you constantly end up being kind of the friend when you might want something more, that isn't that you're walking around wearing a t-shirt that says friendzone on it for the rest of your life. Instead, it's all about how you're communicating. And I really want you to be communicating with women you're attracted to right from the get-go as someone who they'd want to date, as that potential boyfriend or partner figure. So there are 2 good ways to do table turners. One is that you can start to assume that a lot of things that she does are flirtatious. It could be you saying, "Are you flirting with me? I just think you actually wanted to see me again." Now, you have to be careful when you're doing that this is meant to be tongue-in-cheek, it's not serious. You want also for her to participate in this joke by saying, "No, I'm not," or "Stop getting such a big head." That's showing that she's agreeing and going along with your line of a joke here. If instead when you say, "Are you flirting with me?" and she's like, no, and you get a really neutral to dull reaction, you've probably mistimed when you're saying this and she's actually not interested enough just yet to make that fly. So use this technique, but use it cautiously. The other way you can use a table turner is when she actually says something that's a bit more provocative or a bit more flirtatious within the conversation. Whether that's her saying, "Oh, well, maybe we'll see how late we stay up on Saturday night, kiss, kiss." And then you can say, instead of going, "Oh, does this mean this?" or any other statement which would convey a kind of sexual neediness from you, instead of going down that route, which is never going to be attractive, instead you can say something like, say, "That's outrageous," or "I'm going to get my knitting set ready to go." Or you can say something like, "I don't believe you're lowering the tone," or "It's very rude of you to bring such things up. Let's just, I'm expecting just to hang out and watch a movie." So at this point, instead of participating with her in this idea that she's going to say something really sexy is going to happen, instead you adopt this almost prudish role where you say, "I don't believe you said such a thing," or "I would never have expected that from you. You seem like such a nice girl." At that point in time, instead of showing that sexual neediness, you're actually being really playful. And instead you're doing that table turner where suddenly she is the one that's being more flirtatious with you. In the modern dating world, I think this is a really safe and fun way to create more flirtation with her. You want to, however, as I mentioned, see her participating in the joke. If she is not feeling that way at all, or isn't responding, or isn't buying into your joke, then let it go. Okay, second easy way that you can flirt with her. A lot of the time, you may feel that it's really awkward or difficult to be very direct in terms of expressing your interest in a woman. So by directness is kind of laying your cards on the table and telling someone that you like them or you're attracted to them. You could be struggling to think of a way that you can be clear about what your intentions are, but still be congruent to who you are as a person and keep it relatively smooth. So here's a good idea. Instead of saying "you're so attractive," I think it's often better to borrow that word attractive and use it in a different context to give her some praise or validation around a personal quality that she's bringing to the table during your dates. So you could say something like, "I think it's really attractive how excited you are by your career." Or, "I can see your eyes really light up when you talk about that. It's really nice to see." Or, "I think it's really attractive how you're so caring for other people." So you still use the word attractive, which is going to create a little bit of a spark of tension on that date, but you use it in the context of a personality quality that she's exhibiting. So that can be a smart way of telegraphing your attraction to her, but not doing it in a way where you feel like you've just had to lay all your cards on the table. My third and final way that you can flirt with her in a way that's pretty easy and pretty simple and doesn't require laying your cards totally on the table is instead of using those direct compliments, you can instead use implied compliments. So an implied compliment is a compliment that after she hears it, she realizes that you would only really be saying that if you were interested in her. So that could be, I just had to come and say hello to you. Or there was another reason that made me feel like I wanted to message you when I saw your profile. Or it could be, I'm sort of struggling to believe that you need to use dating apps, really. All of these statements, what they imply is you are a really attractive person and I was compelled to do something because I was into you. But they say it in a way that's subtle and allows her to come to her own conclusions. So again, it's not too forceful, it's not explicit, it's not rude, it's not going to turn her off. These are all relatively safe ideas about how you can relatively indirectly communicate attraction, but still in a way that is clear enough that she will understand. If this is you and you're like, yes, I can get into this as a way of communicating with women, I've made some specific videos around how you can approach a woman in a way that, again, has got that smooth, finesse, modern, respectful tone. If that's something you're interested in, head over to hayleyquinn.com/approach. The link is below this video. And in the meantime, remember, what's actually really important here for you is that you clearly communicate your intentions and that she understands what you intend and what you mean by when you're talking to her. So use your table turners, your complimentary word out of context, and your implied compliments here to really flirt with her, but in a way that is subtle and smooth and modern.